Hello everybody, Nick here at Scoggin-Dickey. We're back at SEMA 2021 for the last day, and we decided to do something a little bit special. For this week's tech video, we're holding it here at our booth. Now, this week's tech video is about something that's pretty special. The C8 Corvette came out, the Z06 was announced this week, but we have a lot of guys that still track their Corvettes. Now, when it comes to stuff like that, you're starting to want to make upgrades when it comes to tires and wheels and suspension and maybe even brakes. And that's what we have here. We are now offering Scoggin-Dickey performance brake lines for your C8 Corvette. Now, let me kind of go over some of the features here and explain to you what makes this different than just your standard braided stainless steel brake line. Now, these are precision made. Actually, the components are made in Germany. All the fittings, the hose itself, and I do believe the brackets and some of the hardware are actually made in England. So this is not cheap, you know, overseas stuff. This is actually good quality stuff from some of the highest quality vendors in the world. Now, it is all stainless steel and machined. One of the things I'd like to point out here that when they designed this, they really cared about the details here. So let's cover some of the details here that make installing these brake lines that much easier for you guys. The ends here are still squared off on the caliper side where you bolt it on, like it is on the production vehicles. For some of you that have bolted on brake lines like I have in the past, you get these out of the box and it's that little perfect circular eyelet. Well, when you put that on the caliper, if it doesn't have that square, it'll twist anywhere you want. These are still squared off, so they lock in on the casting on the caliper, so it bolts on just like factory. Those are those little details that these have that I really like. I hated when I installed brake lines back when I was a teenager on my Bronco when I was going off-roading, because it was like that and I had to zip tie it out of the way and hope it didn't get crushed in a spring or caught up in something else. So that's a really great feature I like about these. And as well as these aluminum stamped brackets, these mimic the OEM ones perfectly. They even have all the little cutouts here for all your other lines and cables that run along with your brake lines, so you get factory style installation with these. It is not guesswork. This is not some universal stuff that we just had thrown together and we're trying to chuck it to you to make a profit. This is actually well thought out by racers. We actually have Chris Smith over at Smitty's Custom Automotive that's currently running these. He is coming back with great results. Really great pedal feel, consistent braking performance throughout laps. That's a big deal with these. You get a lot of fade, you get a lot of heat that transfers through the fluid. That fluid can expand the stock brake lines a little bit. These won't. They'll almost eliminate it, so you can still keep that consistent pedal feel for consistent lap times. Pretty big deal here. Now, when it comes to fitment and finish, you can actually see, we'll get a couple close-ups here, but all the little clips that they offer here, and we'll even get a close-up of how these fittings are machined. This is the details I like in a real high quality product. Speaking of real high quality products, you've seen some of my other videos where I've talked about where I'm a sucker for packaging. It's no different here. You ever get some of those cheap aftermarket braided stainless brake line kits and it comes in just a plastic bag? It almost looks like a Ziploc bag that they stapled cardboard on. They chuck it in a FedEx box and send it to you. Not these. These come in a colored, pre-formed box with foam padding on the inside, so you can drop kick it into next week. Their delivery guy can, hopefully not you, and it still stays in great shape. But those are those details where you can tell that the guys that we got with to design these, we really cared just like they did to make sure that from start to finish, you really have a high quality product. Even the line itself is not your standard stainless braided. Brake lines go through thousands of PSI of pressure. You got to think about it. You're holding that pedal hard coming into a corner. You don't want something that's cheap. Some of the cheaper stuff that's offered actually expands more than the OEM line on the Corvettes over here in the booth. So we went and got the highest quality stuff, again, out of Germany, to make sure that no matter how much heat you put through it, heat cycles you put through it, or how hard one of your big hoofs are going to shove that pedal to the floor, it's not going to ruin one of these lines. It's going to stay, it's going to keep its shape and keep consistent braking performance in your C8. Now, these do fit both non-Z51 and Z51 applications. The instructions actually come with specifics to help you install those. One more tip before I leave. When it comes to installing stuff like this, unfortunately, it's not like it is back in the day with older cars or trucks. It is very special. We would highly recommend that you get with somebody who knows what they're doing with these new cars. The ABS pump on all new production cars does have to be actuated by the computer when you bleed it. So do not put these on in your garage and just try to baby it over to your dealership to have bled. Get with a shop that knows what they're doing. They have the right computer to work that pump to make sure that they bleed the system properly. We don't want you wrecking your vet after you put these brake lights on. That way you can get this bled properly and get out on the track and have some fun. We appreciate you guys stopping by for another one of our weekly tech videos. We do these every Friday, or at least we try to as much as we can. This one's very special because we were able to do it here in our booth, and we actually were meeting with the engineers today. I was actually able to meet with them personally and got all this information. They're a really great group of guys that are very passionate about motorsport. So give us a like, subscribe, and share on both Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, all your social media, and we will see you guys next week for another tech video. Thanks for stopping by.